Welcome back to Carina Coen channel for some story time with Sylvie's Wish. When Sylvie becomes a fairy girl, she ends up on an adventure of a lifetime with Charlie the unicorn. This is when they meet the little people of Elfame. Charlie realized he had to concentrate on his mission. He suddenly saw a sign on the tree for Elfame. He instantly bowed on one foot with respect to the sign, but neglected to tell Faersylvie exactly what he was doing. She rolled forward and fell upon what appeared to be a huge brown mushroom. Initially, Faersylvie was understandably dazed, and she got a bit of a fright. She found herself looking straight up into a pair of big brown eyes, belonging to a woodland mouse who smiled at her. His little paws reached out to tickle, and he ran away, laughing at himself. Fairies, animals, and insects of all shapes and sizes started flooding the area of this deep forest, moving past the violet velvet cloak. It had to be seen to be believed. Charlie recited the official words to open the portals of fairyland. We come with respect and peace in our hearts for the little people of Elfame. We will not try to venture where you forbid us to enter. We do not wish to trespass or disturb you. We would dearly love to come among you and to be your companion for a while. If you can do this, please honor us with a sign. May the eternal love and the deep peace of the Great Spirit be always with the little people of Elfame. Little did they know, but they were both special guests at this unique feast celebration in honor of Faersylvie. This unique day in fairyland was turning out to be one of the most exciting events in a long time. The atmosphere was electric, and fairies really knew how to create a true celebration. Faersylvie was learning of a new way of life and a little bit of a new language. A few of the youngest fairies came over to play with Faersylvie. She did not understand what they were saying. It was explained to her by surrounding fairies. I Fae means I love to play. I Hap means I am happy. Ik Bok Boo is an expression of affection, meaning I love you. Can you say it? Ik Bok Boo means I love you. It was a very different language, not known to minds of any children or young people in the human world. Fairies were moving their bodies and tiny feet to the beautiful music. Their drumming instruments looked like strange ancient instruments. They were clapping and enjoying their fairy talk and singing as they created wonderful sounds. Their celebration created magical colours in the fairy skies throughout the entire land. The whole experience did not seem real to Faersylvie. It was like being in a dream. But this was really happening. In the middle of all these enormous trees were multicoloured leaves that came alive with the music. They were unusual, spiral-shaped flowers who placed their leaf hands on their flower body stems, like humans rest their hands on their hips. Can you rest your hands on your hips? They swayed with flower heads left and right in perfect timing. Can you do that? Sway with the music left and right in perfect timing. the mystical musical sounds and energy of the forest came alive. It was the most enchanting thing to watch and to listen. These magical beings were starting to chant and sing. It was as if all of them seemed to be going into their own trance-like state. The forest elves carved a small, beautiful wooden chair with a shell design at the top and a stag's body carved into the center. It had hoof-shaped feet and ram's legs. Its color was a beautiful, warm brown mahogany wood, with Princess Faersylvie carved in beautiful old-style writing under the image of the stag. It was the perfect shape and size for Faersylvie, who now saw the world through very different eyes, as she was considerably smaller than she used to be as a mermaid or even when she was a human. Flower fairies started to arrive from the flower forests near Peace headquarters. They flew and circled around Faersylvie. They did not speak, but invited her with their arms to sit on this beautiful wooden chair. It was made especially for her. As she sat down, the fairies surrounded the ground around her chair with multicolored roses. Their fragrance was exquisite. The roses felt soft as they fell upon her skin and her body. The flower fairies started pouring all the flower petals all over Faersylvie from above her head. It was a truly magical sight, color and magic making. Faersylvie felt incredibly sacred. She knew right then in that moment what it felt like to be a nature goddess and a princess. A hush fell on the air. Suddenly, appearing out of the skies was a luminous white light. The magical white light revealed a soft, pale-faced fairy queen who was surprisingly taller than the other fairies. The fairy queen wore a magical white dress that sparkled with fine jewels, crystals, all woven into its fabric. She was the most elegant fairy Faersylvie had ever seen. She had a soft pink glow around her, wearing a golden tiara crown upon her perfect head of hair. Goodness knows what age she may have been in fairy age, but she looked very beautiful. Her wings shone an enormous glow of white and silver. She was smiling with a magical gleam in her eye. She was happy that this new fairy girl was visiting her kingdom and was now sitting in her specially made stag and shell carved wooden chair. The fairy queen flew towards Faersylvie, passing Charlie with a smile and a little wink. Charlie did his best to contain his overzealous excitement. Charlie the unicorn instantly bowed in her presence, as did the entire elemental kingdom, all realizing that their beautiful fairy queen had arrived. Charlie the unicorn was so happy. This was one of the proudest days of his life. The Elfame legend goes, many moons ago, the fairy queen used to live below the earth, with all the gnomes, leprechauns, insects, and other many unknown creatures who'd hidden in mountains and in caves deep in Mother Earth. To many, these underworld creatures may have appeared ugly and terribly frightening. According to ancient human history, early in their evolution, they began to forget their balancing, loving, male-female energies. Many eons ago, there were humans who felt these creatures, or these devas of compassion, needed to be destroyed. Little did they know these ancient elemental beings who live between the worlds, their energy and work was once again going to be needed in this new era to push through all the sludge and the chemical and the horrible toxic waste created by humans. Sadly, many humans on Earth had lost total connection with the nature kingdom, thus losing respect for each other and the planet that they lived on. These ancient devas were known as the magic bridges between the heaven and the earth. With the ancient unicorns, these devas would incant rainbows across the earth. These full circle rainbows would help Mother Earth to be purified and cleansed. This would be achieved through their magical abilities of color, crystals, magic, and the power of the elements. This would only happen at certain times of enormous evolutionary change in human and fairy history, as it was to be a joining of all the forces of nature, unconditional love, and pure goodness. The day was coming for the return of this ancient spiral work. The fairy queen had this message to announce to her kingdom. She was feeling confident as the angels had sent the help of this magical human girl who is now a merfairy. The fairy queen was still dealing with her personal internal anguish, which she kept secret from her own people of Elfame. She believed it was time to help build a new bridge of communication between the merfolk and the fairies. With the guidance of the Mermaid of Infinity and this new fairy girl, who was also a mermaid, they would be able to convey messages. She would be able to convey messages in a new way to both kingdoms. In the waters, as Faersylvie, she would be educated in choral school and set up with the chosen mer teams to help change mer history. On land, as Faersylvie, she would have the help and courage given to her working with the 4 sacred animals and the butterflies and the birds of truth. There was to be a new collaboration of all the elemental beings and angels on a joint mission with the powerful Lady of Peace headquarters. All would soon be revealed as it was meant to be. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was another little piece of the story, and I'll be returning with some more from Sylvie's Wish. Take care in these times and trust that truly all will be well. Believe in the magic. Love to you on your journey. Carina Coen.